the mysterious case of the vanishing heiress. In the small town of Ravenwood, a wealthy heiress named Amelia Sinclair vanished without a trace. The townspeople were baffled by her sudden disappearance, and rumors began to spread like wildfire.
The disappearance.
Amelia Sinclair was known for her beauty, charm, and her vast fortune. She lived in a grand mansion on the outskirts of Ravenwood, surrounded by lush gardens and an air of mystery. One fateful night, as the clock struck midnight, Amelia vanished from her bedroom, leaving behind only a cryptic note. The townspeople were in shock and immediately suspected foul play. Detective James Anderson, a seasoned investigator with a knack for solving the most perplexing cases, was assigned to the disappearance of Amelia Sinclair.
Uncovering clues.
Detective Anderson arrived at the Sinclair mansion and began his investigation. He meticulously combed through Amelia's room, searching for any clues that could shed light on her disappearance. As he examined the room, he noticed a hidden compartment in her desk containing a stack of old letters. The letters revealed a dark secret from Amelia's past. They hinted at a long-lost love and a bitter rivalry between two wealthy families. Detective Anderson knew he had stumbled upon a motive for Amelia's disappearance.
The sinister plot.
As Detective Anderson delved deeper into the case, he discovered a web of deceit and betrayal. He uncovered a secret society operating within Ravenwood, manipulating events from the shadows. It seemed that Amelia's disappearance was just the tip of the iceberg. With each new lead, the detective unraveled the sinister plot that had ensnared Amelia Sinclair. He encountered dangerous individuals, each with their own agenda, and realized that he was not the only one searching for the truth.
A race against time.
As the investigation intensified, Detective Anderson found himself in a race against time. The more he uncovered, the closer he got to the truth, but also the more danger he faced. The mysterious society would stop at nothing to protect their secrets, and Amelia's life hung in the balance. With the clock ticking, Detective Anderson followed a trail of clues that led him to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. There, he discovered the truth behind Amelia's disappearance and the identity of the mastermind behind it all.
The final confrontation.
#the mysterious case of the missing diamond. Once upon a time, in the small town of Oakwood, there was a renowned detective named Detective Smith. He was known for his sharp mind and his ability to solve even the most complex mysteries. One day, he received a call from a wealthy businessman named Mr. Johnson, who had a valuable diamond necklace stolen from his mansion. Detective Smith arrived at the mansion and was greeted by Mr. Johnson, who seemed visibly distraught. The necklace was a family heirloom and held great sentimental value to him. The detective assured Mr. Johnson that he would do everything in his power to recover the stolen necklace. As Detective Smith began his investigation, he interviewed the staff members who were present at the time of the theft. There was the butler, Mr. Jenkins, the housekeeper, Mrs. Thompson, and the gardener, Mr. Wilson. Each of them had an alibi, but Detective Smith knew better than to take things at face value. He meticulously examined the crime scene and found a few clues that caught his attention. There were muddy footprints leading from the garden to the study where the necklace was kept. The detective also found a torn piece of fabric near the window, suggesting that the thief had made a hasty escape. Detective Smith decided to focus his investigation on the staff members as they were the ones with access to the mansion. He questioned each of them again, this time digging deeper into their backgrounds and motives. He discovered that Mr. Jenkins had a gambling problem and was in debt, while Mrs. Thompson had a history of stealing from her previous employers. Mr. Wilson, on the other hand, seemed to have a clean record. As the investigation progressed, Detective Smith received an anonymous tip that led him to a local pawn shop. He went there and found a man trying to sell a diamond necklace that matched the description of the stolen one. The man claimed that he had found it abandoned in a park, but the detective was skeptical. Using his keen observation skills, Detective Smith noticed that the man's hands were covered in dirt, similar to the muddy footprints found at the crime scene. He also noticed a small tear on the man's jacket, which matched the torn fabric found near the window. Convinced that he had found the thief, Detective Smith arrested the man and brought him back to the mansion. In front of Mr. Johnson and the staff members, Detective Smith revealed the identity of the thief. It was none other than Mr. Wilson, the seemingly innocent gardener. It turned out that Mr. Wilson had been planning the theft for a long time. He had carefully studied the mansion's layout and knew exactly when and where to strike. Motivated by greed, Mr. Wilson had stolen the necklace with the intention of selling it and disappearing forever. However, he had not anticipated Detective Smith's exceptional investigative skills. The muddy footprints and torn fabric had been carefully planted by Mr. Wilson to divert suspicion away from himself, but the detective had seen through his ruse. With the stolen necklace recovered and the thief apprehended, Oakwood could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Detective Smith's reputation as a brilliant detective was further solidified, and Mr. Johnson expressed his profound gratitude for the detective's efforts. And so, the case of the missing diamond came to a close, leaving behind a tale of mystery, deceit, and the triumph of justice.